Have you ever felt invisible? Have you ever had the feeling that no one truly listens to you, that your opinions go in one ear and out the other? That no matter how much you speak, your boundaries are ignored, your desires ridiculed, your presence discarded? Well, know this. It doesn't happen by chance. There is a reason, and it is more uncomfortable than you would like to admit. The world does not respect those who do not assert themselves. The world does not listen to those who do not know what they are saying. The world does not value those who live trying to please. As long as you do not build a solid internal structure, moral, emotional, and strategic, you will continue to be an easy target. A disposable piece. Someone who lives at the mercy of others' judgment, always reacting, always chasing, always molding themselves to fit into others' molds. And do you know what Machiavelli would say about this? That you are doomed to irrelevance. It is much safer to be feared than loved when one has to choose between the two. This phrase can be interpreted in various ways, and one of them is as a warning, an uncomfortable truth. The image of strength generates respect. The image of weakness attracts contempt. And you can try to deceive yourself as much as you want. You can say you are kind, understanding, empathetic. But if behind all that is the fear of asserting yourself, the truth is that you are merely disguising your fragility. And the world notices. Do you know why people ignore your boundaries? Because you ignore them yourself. Do you know why no one takes your words seriously? Because they do not come from a firm place. They come from an anxious mouth, an insecure soul, a body that trembles in the face of conflict. And there is no speech that can convince when the posture betrays weakness. Do you want respect? Then understand this. Respect begins when you decide to stop being fragile. When you stop acting like a decaying republic, chaotic inside, trying to maintain the appearance of order on the outside. Machiavelli wrote in the Discourses on the first decade of Titus Livius, "A republic that becomes corrupted and where internal discipline deteriorates cannot sustain itself, even with good laws." Now apply this to yourself. It doesn't matter how many books you read, how many external rules you try to follow. If your internal foundation is compromised, if your emotions control you, if you act on impulse, if your values change with the wind, you will crumble. The question I have for you is simple. How long will you accept being seen as someone weak? How long will you swallow disrespect in silence, pretending everything is fine? How long will you live with that choked voice, that evasive gaze, that body that shrinks whenever it needs to assert itself? Enough. If you clicked on this video, it's because on some level, you've already realized something needs to change. You are tired of living in this state of emotional submission, tired of feeling that others have more control over your life than you do. This video is not about how to appear strong, it's about how to become strong. Because true respect is not imposed with shouts or masks. It arises from self-mastery. So be prepared. Nothing you will hear here is light. This is not Instagram motivation. This is raw psychology, sharp philosophy. It's Machiavelli telling you through history that the world is a battlefield, and that if you do not learn to fight internally, you will continue to be just another servant of your own fragility. From now on, you have two choices. Either you continue as you are, ignored, unstable, irrelevant, or you start to rebuild your inner power. But understand, no one will do this for you. Look around. The people who command respect, who speak and are immediately heard, who enter a room and change the atmosphere, they didn't get there by chance. It wasn't luck. It's not because they are more liked than you. It's because they are more respected. And respect is not a gift that is given, it is a reflection. A reflection of what? Of internal structure, of emotional control, of moral clarity. And if you don't have that, the world notices. Just as the smell of blood attracts sharks, weakness, the true kind, the one that resides within, attracts only one thing: destruction. The problem is not that people are cruel. The problem is that life tests structures all the time. And if yours is cracked, it will give way. When you live emotionally disorganized, when you react to everything with impulsiveness, when your decisions contradict each other, when you say one thing and do another, the world interprets this exactly as it is: internal chaos. And Machiavelli already said, in the discourses on the first decade of Titus Livius, that no republic, no matter how good its laws, survives when it loses internal discipline. With the individual, it's the same. You may even have good ideas. You may want to be a better person, more assertive, more present. But if your conduct does not support this with coherence, with direction, with firmness, no one will take you seriously. Because respect is not asked for, not demanded, not begged for. Respect is imposed with presence, and those who do not respect themselves try to compensate with words, with favors, with excuses. But the truth escapes in gestures. It's in the hesitation when speaking, in the gaze that avoids confrontation, in the body that shrinks back when it needs to assert itself. Every small omission, every no you swallow, every boundary you let be crossed, all of this communicates something. And what it communicates is, I am weak. And understand this well. The world, and in this Machiavelli was brutally clear, has no mercy for the unstable. Life does not protect the fragile. On the contrary, it pushes them further down. Existence respects those who are solid, those who have a center, those who know what they want, what they tolerate, and above all, who know who they are. The rest is forgotten, erased. Do you feel like no one listens to you, that your opinions are ignored, that your presence has no weight? This is not bad luck. This is a reflection of an internal structure that you have not yet built. And as long as that doesn't change within, nothing changes outside. Life gives you exactly what you tolerate. No more, no less. But there is a way, and it starts with a radical decision: to interrupt the collapse. To stop everything, look inward, and admit, without escape, without victimhood, without a mask, I am weak, and no one is going to save me from this. From that point, something new is born. A process, a rebirth, the reconstruction of oneself. And this reconstruction begins with a force that Machiavelli called virtù. It is this force that separates common men from the respected. And that is what we are going to talk about now. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Virtù. A simple word but loaded with weight. Machiavelli used it with surgical precision. For him, virtù was not about being good, docile, or morally correct. No, virtù was something else. It was the ability to impose oneself on chaos, to shape reality to one's own will, to act decisively in the face of uncertainty. It was the essence of inner strength, the strength that builds empires, that earns respect, that sustains power. And it is this same strength that is lacking in the life of those who live being ignored. You may have good intentions, you may be polite, well-articulated, even intelligent. But if you lack virtù, you will be seen as harmless. And no one respects the harmless. People may even like you, but they do not follow you. They hear you, but they do not listen to you. They tolerate you, but they do not consider you. Because presence is lacking. Density is lacking. That energy that makes others think twice before crossing your boundary is missing. Virtù is that. It is real presence. It is clarity of intention. It is a firm stance, even in silence. It is the ability to choose the right action at the right time without needing to justify every step. It is the courage to stand by your choices even when the whole world disagrees. It is taking command of your own life and no longer living as a puppet reacting to the movements of others. And this strength does not come from nothing. It is built, brick by brick, decision by decision. Every time you say no when you mean no, you strengthen your virtue. Every time you act with coherence, even amidst chaos, you strengthen your virtue. Every time you assert yourself without needing to raise your voice, you show the world that there is structure, that there is density, that there is someone there who knows exactly who they are. In chapter 6 of The Prince, Machiavelli states, "A prince who does not possess virtue cannot maintain power for long." This applies to kings, yes, but it applies even more to you. Because the power you want to maintain is yours. Control over your life, your choices, your values. And without virtue, that power slips through your fingers. Virtue is also strategic intelligence. It is knowing when to act, when to wait, when to attack, and when to retreat. It is acting with intention, not impulse. It is leading, not just reacting. And this is the difference between those who are respected and those who are forgotten. The former build their virtue with discipline. The latter live waiting for the world to treat them well just because they are good people. But beware, virtue is not arrogance. It is not rudeness. It is not empty aggression. It is mastery. It is internal command. It is a silent authority that emanates from those who are aligned with themselves. And when this energy manifests, respect happens naturally, effortlessly, without begging for attention, without needing to justify oneself. Now I ask you, what have you done to strengthen your virtue? How are you building this internal structure? Or are you just surviving, waiting for the world to change before you change? The truth is one. Without virtue, you will continue to be pushed around by life. But with virtue, you begin to shape the reality around you. And this transformation has a very clear starting point. The moment you stop running away from yourself. And that is the next step.